Hey guys, how's it going? It's Andy from Magoo Investing. Happy Thursday. That's kind of weird for me to say. Yesterday I kind of missed my upload mainly because I had driven down all the way from Oregon to California, and yesterday I spent most of the day unpacking and working on my capstone project for my graduate course. And before we get started, I do want to say that if there's any problems with this video, I'll turn the green screen off for a second. I'm at my parents' house in California, and I am not used to recording in this environment. So it's going to take a couple videos for me to get used to recording in this area, so kind of bear with me for a little bit. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my stock portfolio currently for July of 2020. I'm going to go through each of the stocks that I own, talk about what's happened in the past, and kind of explain how I feel about the stock right now. And then I'm going to categorize them into a buy, sell, or hold. Obviously, I have to say that I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just a 23-year-old giving my own opinions on the stock market from the comfort of my childhood home. So one of the great things about the stock market is the fact that as you get additional information, you can kind of change your opinions on a lot of stocks. And so while I own some of these stocks already, I might not consider them a buy right now at the current prices and based off of what I now know. So I'm going to go through each stock and kind of talk about what I feel is going to happen with the stock going forward. Also, if you've been enjoying these videos, I really appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button, as it would help my channel out a lot. Almost 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so go ahead and hit the button and join the channel. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started and start talking about my stock portfolio for July of 2020. But before we talk about any of the stocks that I do actually own, I wanted to talk about the stocks that I no longer own. If you've been a part of the channel for a little bit, you'll remember the video that I made talking about why I decided to buy Delta stock, ticker symbol DAL. This was a great trade for me, and I sold it at a significant profit, between 50 and 60% profit. But as the stock market pushed up and the airlines were kind of pumped up to a point where I was not super comfortable with it, I decided to sell my position. So I no longer own anything in the airline industry, and as a result, based off of the current market conditions and how I feel about things overall, I'm sitting in the most amount of cash that I've ever been in. Currently, my stock portfolio is around 60% cash. I know that I'm going to be missing out on some potential opportunities and profit as the stock market continues to push higher. But based off of the market conditions and kind of how I'm feeling overall, I don't really feel comfortable buying anything. I don't see a lot of great opportunities. So I'm going to be sitting in cash, and if the market falls, I will be in a perfect position to take advantage of that. But as of right now, around 60% of my portfolio is sitting in cash and is kind of patiently waiting. This is also a great time to remind people something that it took me years to learn is the fact that just because you have money available doesn't mean you have to be in the market fully at all times. This is something that I had a problem with when I started day trading because I always thought I'd be missing out on some opportunities. And yes, I've missed out on some money, but if you don't see a position that's kind of jumping out to you and is calling your name, I think it's great to just kind of wait on the sidelines and find a better opportunity. So the first stock I wanted to talk about is actually the one that is the largest part of my portfolio, and that is Disney, ticker symbol DIS. Currently, Disney is trading for around $114 and it's down 21% year to date. Or currently, my position is down around 3.5%, but it's not something I'm really worried about. When you look at the track record for Disney over the past couple months, you've seen pretty similar things. The market has been up significantly in the past couple days, and Disney has been slightly red or even based off of the pandemic news. And then if you look in the past couple months, the market is slightly green and Disney is down around 6%. When you look at this graphic that shows the revenue sources for Disney, it makes a lot of sense why the company is struggling right now and why it's down more than 20% year to date. When 37% of your revenue overall comes from parks and physical experiences, and all of those have been shut down, it makes sense why the company is struggling. I saw an article talking about Disney Tokyo was the first park to open back up, and that's going to be a positive thing for the company, but many of the properties in the United States are still going to be waiting to see what happens with this resurgence in the pandemic. With their last earnings report, Disney got absolutely crushed, with their earnings dropping 90%. But with how doom and gloom that number sounds, I'm not super worried about the company overall, and that's why it's a huge part of my portfolio right now. Disney's not a company that's going to go bankrupt because of a tough 6, 9 months, or even a year. It's a company that's going to struggle for a bit right now, and that's why I decided to buy it at a significant discount. When you look at the market overall, you don't see a lot of blue chips that you can get at a discount like this, and this is still a pretty good opportunity in my mind. And so as a result of that, I'm going to give Disney a buy at this current price. This isn't going to be something that's going to recover immediately. There's still a lot of things that need to happen, especially with the United States opening up fully. There were some talks about some of the parks opening back up, but now California and Florida are increasing their restrictions, and I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So at this point, I would put Disney as a buy. If it falls further, I might add to my position that I already have as the largest part of my portfolio because I like Disney so much. And I don't think it's every day that you're going to be able to buy a blue chip stock with as good of a track record as Disney at a discount more than 20%. So overall, I think this is a great opportunity for a long-term position, and I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about Disney, ticker symbol DIS, in the comment section down below. The next stock I wanted to talk about is Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR. This has been one of my favorite stocks of all time, and my position is currently up around 10% overall. Currently, Twitter is trading for around $31, and it's still down 3% year to date. When you look at the track record of the stock, when I put up the 1-year chart, it is not the most attractive chart that I've ever seen. You have the massive fall back in the fall of last year, as a result of the ad bug that they had that resulted in lower than expected revenue, and the stock fell sharply after that. And then it recovered for a bit, and then the pandemic hit and just smacked it out of the sky. And then recently you've had the news of Facebook and Twitter getting hurt last week. Both of them were down around 7% this past Friday as a result of many of the major advertisers cutting the spending that they're going to have overall. And so for a company like Twitter and Facebook that's very dependent on ad revenue overall, this is a huge hit for the company. And I'm really excited to say that we can start doing some technical analysis when it comes to Twitter. When I show the 180-day chart, you can see the steady increase in price that was following a perfect line going up. And recently that trend broke. And so that shows that it's very bullish in addition to the news that's happening overall. So what do I think about Twitter overall? I'm not going to put it as a buy. I'm going to put it as a hold closer to the sell region. Overall, I think Twitter is a fantastic opportunity for a long-term investment, 10 plus years. But as of right now, there's a lot of chop going on and a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the ad revenue in the future. This is something where it just broke out of this very bullish trend and now it's looking pretty bearish overall. And then you see the historical performance of some major drops in the past year does not give me a lot of confidence for a short-term play. With this pressure coming from advertisers, the next earnings report may be brutal for Twitter overall. And if the stock falls significantly after that, I will probably double my position size. Twitter is a company that I really believe in, but in the short term, there's a lot of problems going on, and I'm kind of going to wait to see what happens. If the stock goes up, fantastic. I have a large enough position, well, I will take advantage of that. But if the stock falls significantly, I still believe in the platform overall. I just think it's going through a rough time right now, and I'll probably double my position if that happens. So as of right now, I would categorize Twitter as a hold. If I didn't own it already, I would just be waiting on the sidelines. And if the stock falls, I will add to my position. And if it goes up, fantastic. I have a large enough position where I will take advantage of that. Let me know what you guys think about Twitter stock, ticker symbol TWTR, in the comment section down below. The next stock I want to talk about is Nike, ticker symbol NKE. This has been one of my favorite stocks that I've owned in the past couple months. It's currently trading for around $98 and it's down 3% year to date. But even though the stock is still down year to date, my position is up around 20% overall because I bought close to the bottom. So when you look at Nike as a company overall, I see it in a similar light to Disney. It's going to be hurt by a decrease in consumer spending if we have a potential recession coming in the future. But Nike is the leader in everything that they've done, and I'm not super worried about a massive drop in their earnings overall. When I think about brand loyalty, I think about stuff like Apple and Nike. And I think that a potential recession, the earnings are probably going to get hit, but it's not going to be as significant as some of the other retailers or tech companies out there. When I put up the 5-year chart, you can see how quickly the stock recovered from the lows from the pandemic. And while that looks great, we got to talk about some more technical analysis. When I show the 180-day chart, you can see that the company has had problems breaking the $105 mark, and that is becoming a very solid resistance. The stock tried to push above it twice and has been rejected both times. So based off of where the price is right now, and considering that it has limited upside at this point, I'm going to consider it a hold. I think it's a company that's fantastic in the long run, but I think buying close to this 52-week high, which has also been shown to be a pretty solid resistance, I think is not a great opportunity right now. In addition, with a potential recession coming, the technical analysis side of it and the potential recession is one of the main reasons why I'm considering it a hold. It is part of my portfolio and I absolutely love it, but I just think adding to my position right now is not a great opportunity, and if I wasn't in it already, I would probably wait for a better opportunity, maybe if they come out with poor earnings in the next quarter and I can get it at a better discount. But right now, only around 5% going up to the resistance is not something I'm looking for. So I personally think it's a hold, and I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about Nike, ticker symbol NKE, in the comment section down below. All right, next we're going to talk about Microsoft, one of my favorites, ticker symbol MSFT. Currently, Microsoft is trading for over $200, and it is up 31% year to date. And so the stock is up 31%, and my position is up a whopping 34% overall, and it's actually the best performing stock that I own, besides PayPal, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So I'm really not going to talk about Microsoft that much. If you don't have any information on Microsoft, Kind of shocked by that. But when I throw up the 5-year chart, you can see that Microsoft has been the definition of consistency in the past. And based off of their 3 evenly distributed revenue sources, I'm not worried about anything in the future, and so I'm not going to talk about it at depth. Based off of that chart, which is, it is beautiful, I'm going to put Microsoft at a buy for pretty much any price. Obviously, buying at a recent high is what we've seen right now, maybe not the best idea, but it's also Microsoft, and so I would feel comfortable buying Microsoft at pretty much any price. So at this point, I would put Microsoft as a buy, and it will likely always be a buy in my mind, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, in the comment section down below. And the last stock I wanted to talk about is PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. Currently, PayPal is trading for $177, and it's up 64% year to date, making it one of the top performers in the stock market so far in 2020. This was a company that I covered at depth in my top performing stocks of 2020 so far, and if you missed that, I'll link that above right now. Right now, my position is up around 50%. I don't have a very large position overall, but it's something where it was one of the first stocks that I owned overall, and I've wanted it to be a part of my portfolio ever since. During the pandemic, PayPal has shown the importance of having digital transactions, and the fact that over the past 2 quarters, they've averaged around $200 billion in cash transactions, it is incredible to see how much the platform is being utilized overall. Also, they have their little brother company or app, which is Venmo, which is something that I use on pretty much an everyday basis. Overall, PayPal is the king of digital transactions. Sure, some people might argue that they like Square a little bit more. It's a product that I've never really enjoyed, and I think that PayPal has just always had a special place in my heart, and it's always going to be a part of my portfolio going forward. At this point, the stock is up significantly year to date, and so it's not the most attractive stock in the world, but I would still put it as a buy based off of the potential that we're going to see in the future, with digital transactions showing their legitimacy overall, with how PayPal has shown that digital transactions are an important part of the way the economy works at this point. I think PayPal is in a fantastic position to take advantage of maybe some major changes that we're going to see in spending habits going forward. Also, the potential of Bitcoin coming in and being utilized on the platform and being one of the first major digital platforms to accept Bitcoin as a payment, I think is a fantastic opportunity for both Bitcoin and PayPal going forward. So overall, PayPal is very extended, but based off of the long-term potential that I see with the company and the incredible 2020 they've had so far, I'm going to put PayPal as a buy in my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. So overall, that was my stock portfolio right now for July of 2020. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm sitting heavily in cash, and I'm going to be missing out on some potential gains at this point, but I was not seeing a lot of fantastic opportunities out there. I still love Disney, and if they miss on their next earnings report, I'm probably going to double my position because I think it's a fantastic company, and being able to buy a blue chip at a significant discount isn't something that you can easily find right now. At this point, I've gotten rid of a lot of the riskier positions in my portfolio, stuff like Snapchat, Delta. I hope to get into Snapchat again in the future because I think it has a lot of potential, but I hit the 40% gains on that position and I decided to liquidate it and hold it into cash. So I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about the stocks I own and what stocks that you guys own in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and I will potentially see you tomorrow, maybe Saturday, with the next video. Thanks for watching, stay inside, and I'll see you in the next video.